Galactic Day, everybody. My name is Universe, and I am your source for today's video. So, we're going to talk about the science of isolation and the time chambers. So, the first point we're going to get into is how being isolated, it forces you to grow. That's when you start understanding the science of, self-reflection. Because it's just you in the darkness. It's just you and your thoughts, good and bad. It's just you in the mirror. You get to see how pulling yourself away from the everyday hustle and bustle, from the females, family, friends, all of your bad habits. Once you start fasting, and you start focusing in on a bigger picture, you can only do this when you isolate it, because then you won't have any outside influences. You won't be writing down plans and ideas and goals and sharing it with everybody amongst you. Because of course we all know when you tell people what you're trying to build, they always got to have their 2 cents. That's probably not going to be in agreement with half the stuff you saying. You know how they go. You tell somebody like, look, man, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. And of course, they always have all of the right answers. They always, oh, man, why don't you do this? Bro, have you thought about this? You trying to do this, but I think you should do that. You know what I'm saying? They always, have all the expert advice and have all the opinions and all the facts when it comes to everybody else's situation. And that's another thing that, isolation will have you noticing, is that you can't tell everybody what you got going on. You got to be careful, because they could be plotting and feeding you poison, and that's a form of infiltration, especially when you and the people around you, let's say, for instance, they might not be happy with their situation. They might have a lot of ground to cover in their own life. So what do you look like trying to tell them your dreams and aspirations when they haven't even did nothing to put themselves in a position in life? So you got to be careful with trying to tell the rats and the bottom feeders what you got going on. When you trying to be the new king of the hill, the king of the mountain, you trying to have a castle, and they okay with sleeping on the floor. So isolation, it shows you and it exposes everyone around you, because you get to sit back and think without any outside influences. And another thing that isolation does, it puts you on a social diet. What do I mean by that? For example, have you noticed you pick up characteristics? You could pick up sayings, habits, and thought processes from people that's around you. That's just how it goes. Because your environment is also part of your diet. It's part of social engineering. I know you haven't been taught to look at it that way, but that's just what it is. Now your thoughts are actually 100% yours. Now you have pure thoughts. Now you can actually focus in on what you got going on. There's nobody else's energy that's infiltrating your bubble, because you're in isolation. And you have to stay isolated for certain periods of time to grow. That's how the prince becomes the king. That's how the soldier becomes the sergeant. That's how the lieutenant becomes the general. That's how you start the process of self-reflection. And this will also show you who are your real true friends. Because if you tell them, like, look, I'm just trying to focus, I'm trying to build this up, I'm working 2 full-time jobs, or I'm trying to build up, focus on my business or whatever you got going on. Yeah, I'm not for the next 2 months, I'm going to be locked in. So I'm not going to be, hanging out every weekend, whatever the case might be. They should be understanding. They should be with that. They should be supportive. Oh, yeah, bro, I understand. You got to lock in. You know what I'm saying? I know you got big plans. You building for your future. Bro, you got my number. Just hit me whenever you get the time. That's how that conversation should go. It shouldn't, but in most cases, and I done, been through this myself, where you try to tell some friends, like, oh, man, what you mean? You can still do that. Da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? You come out with us still. Just come out with us Friday. You know what I'm saying? Then you can chill Saturday or, something like that. If you trying to lock in and focus and you have friends or families, a girlfriend or whatever, and they respond like that, cut them off. They're dangerous to you. They're very, very dangerous. And it's going to stunt your growth. So the next point we're going to get into is we're going to talk about, the time chamber, So once, you're in isolation and you start to practice the skill of isolation, this is when, the time chamber start kicking in. Because now you get to slow down the time. Literally, you get to slow down the time because you can hear yourself think. You could properly structure your steps 1 through 10. You could properly sit down and think about what you're trying to do because you're not living a fast life anymore. You're not trying to, when I get off at work, I'm going to take a quick shower. I'm going to go out here, hang out with cuz, and then 2-3 hours, and then I'm going to go over here, see baby girl, and then I'm whatever the case might be. You taking all of your time and you planning accordingly. You're not letting nobody else plan your time for you. And that's why I call it the time chamber, because you becoming the master of your universe. You deal with people when you feel the need to. You putting that time into yourself, because remember, time is something that you can't get back. You cannot get time back. So when you're in that time chamber, you start realizing it. Then you start understanding, time is the most precious thing in the world. After time, then you start focusing in on your resources, which could be money, your knowledge, health, etc., etc. But that time chamber is going to show you how other people in your life, how they spend their time. And it's going to let you realize, like, okay, I need to stay isolated from this person, and this person. Because when you in the time chamber, it's going to show you that other people, they not taking their time and doing what they need to do with it. They not using their time wisely. They not using the time chamber effect. Every time, you talk to friends, families, or whoever it might be, they don't have no type of structure in their day. Those type of people. Every time you call them, what's up to? No, I'm just chilling. I ain't got nothing going on. Or they just going with the flow. Or they not trying to get nothing done because they take time for granted. But you're not doing that because you're in a time chamber and you know better. So you have to watch out for people that don't plan accordingly. They don't have any type of goals. They don't have no structure to their days, their weeks, or their months, or their structures for the year. So the next point is we're going to talk about how isolation could be used as a tool to build and destroy your circle of friends and families. So I'm going to break down what I mean by that. For example, let's say you get out of your isolation, your time chamber, right? And you start coming back around, the normal friends and families, or, your ex-lovers, or whatever the case might be. Let's say if you fell off the face of the earth for, let's say, 6-7 months, and you came back. Now, obviously, you established something. You It could be something like getting your dream car, or you done moved into a new spot you've been trying to save up to do, or you done scratch something off your bucket list. Maybe you was trying to lose weight, or start a business, and excuse me, and build up, like a clientele list. Maybe you was like, well, the next 6 months, I got my own business. I want to start it and I want to have 10 customers, and you go back around those same people. And if they are in the same positions, same mindset, same day-to-day activities, then you will know, coming out of your time chamber and out of isolation, that they are not built to be in your circle. They're not trying to elevate. They're not trying to evolve. So you must separate from them. So isolation and being in a time chamber, that could definitely be a very, 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 very effective tool. Just pay attention to that next time you disappear, for self-development. You come back and they still stagnant. They still in, stuck in their ways. They still not trying to, push themselves to the limit. That will let you know, okay, they not for me. You got to break off from them. We got to dismantle your circle and build it back up. And as you start to evolve as a person, you will start to realize this person, these people, he or she, they don't deserve to be in my presence, because they're going to bring me down. They're going to slow me up, because after you get a couple taste of success and you done start knocking stuff off your to-do list, your bucket list, whether it's financial, because it's health and wealth or whatever you got your target on, and they not doing what they supposed to, you already know it's time to depart. So make sure you don't just look at, being isolated and staying to yourself for a couple months at a time. It's just about me. I'm trying to build myself up, because that'll show you how to build your circle up as well. Because they'll let you know, if you take time to put in the work and look within yourself and build yourself up, and you come back around and they still at point two, then they'll let you know they not putting in the same time for self-help like you are. And you cannot deal with anybody that's not putting in the same time or even more time and discipline than you putting into yourself. That is very dangerous. You have to look at them as dangerous people, because that's exactly what they are. They gonna fuck up what you got going on and what you're trying to build. So this is part one of the science of isolation and the time chamber. I'll be dropping a part two. We just gonna keep on building. My name is Universe. Peace to the gods. Until next time.